Hi, and thank you for your interest in hearing more about fire sprinkler industry insurance to help you make an informed decision on your coverage options. My name is Karen Henry. I'm the Vice President of Marketing for Breckenridge Insurance Group. We're pleased to have this opportunity to be working with the team at Monday Morning Markets to bring you this helpful product knowledge video. With us today, Bob Lenhart, who is an expert in the fire sprinkler insurance space and a longstanding professional underwriter, is going to be sharing some of his expertise. Welcome, Bob.
Thanks, Karen. It's good to be with you.
So Bob, fire sprinkler contractors provide a very important role in helping protect people in their places of business or residence. What do you see as the purpose of general liability insurance that is offered in this space for businesses both large and small?
Well, Karen, the purpose of general liability for the fire sprinkler contractors is first to provide property damage coverage. Secondly, it's to provide bodily injury coverage. Third, to provide professional design services for each of the fire sprinkler contractors. And last, to provide third-party action over coverage for their employees.
Great. So who specifically needs this coverage and why?
Well, Karen, all fire sprinkler contractors are required to have the general liability for their state licensing requirements in order to keep that license current. And also, any contractor who works for general contractors is required to carry it, and any contractor who does work for property owners is always required to have general liability.
Fantastic. In addition to property coverages, clearly our insureds are going to be concerned about safety on the job. What can you share with us that these contractors should know in terms of workers' comp insurance?
Right. There are several considerations on the workers' comp. And first of all, it's state mandated, so you want to be with an agent that knows those state regulations. Also, you want to be with an agent who can write and handle the workers' compensation for new and established enterprises. In addition to that, debit modifiers, because it's very important in this industry. At some point or another, every sprinkler contractor will have a debit mod, so you want to be with an agent who can handle that. And it's also important to understand the billing and reporting needs, because under the workers' compensation policies, you have options as far as the payment plans. So again, it's very, very important for them to understand the billing and reporting needs, and also to follow best practices for this particular coverage.
Bob, among the type of exposures or risks that fire sprinkler businesses face, what are some of note that you would suggest our insureds pay particular attention to?
Well, Karen, there's a couple of key risk exposure factors for this particular industry. One is the fact that you're working for general contractors, and you have to be able to have the coverages that they require for their contracts. And it's very important that you work with your agent to know that they can provide also for you these coverages that the general contractors do require. In addition to that, this particular industry is very much involved in inspection and testing of systems. So we need to have every account working with an agent who knows, again, inspection and testing regulations and exposures that you can come upon as a contractor.
Great. With the risks that are in this industry, what kinds of factors influence the cost or even the savings that one can expect when seeking insurance coverage?
Yeah, the cost of insurance is determined in several different ways. First of all, it's your annual payroll by the type of descriptions that you have. For the fire suppression industry, we're not looking for the clerical exposures. We're looking for those that are out in the field. So it's the installation of the fire suppression type systems. But also you could be doing alarm systems, which is a different class code or different description. So payrolls are the basis. The higher the payroll, the more the cost of insurance. But one thing that's very important is your loss history. Your loss history, if it's favorable, could lower your cost of insurance. However, if you have frequency or severity of losses, the cost of your insurance could go up dramatically. Also, and thirdly, the coverage that you desire dictates what the cost would be. If there's any particular special needs that you have, it could drive the cost of your insurance up. But then fourth, another good way to save cost is a preventative loss control program. So it's important to work with an agent who has a carrier that can provide loss control services directly to you.
Very helpful. Thank you. I know you wanted to touch on some examples that are of the claims nature in this industry and what an agent actually does in the process in collaboration with the insured if and when a claim should arise.
Absolutely. What a good agent really delivers to you, the contractor, is the proper coverages that we kind of talked about earlier. What we've seen in the past is incidences that have occurred. For example, the first one of worksite pollution loss. In the particular example that we saw, the coverage was denied because the policy did not carry that type of coverage. Another one that's quite common is design liability, where there's professional liability that you're doing. Your agent knows and can and is able to place coverage for you on your current policy. In this particular example, there was no property damage. When the system was designed and installed, the authority having jurisdiction came out, inspected the building, looked at it, and said, well, sorry, Mr. Contractor, you installed the wrong system for this building. You'll need to rip it out, tear it out, and redo it. Therefore, coverage was denied because there was, again, no property damage. But working with your good agent, you'll have that type of coverage. Now, here's some positive examples on freeze-up of systems. Very common in this industry, particularly during this time of the year in the winter. What we like to see is the agents who have the ability and know their coverages and are able to transfer a loss like this back to the property owner, particularly if there's been adequate heat provided to the system. The next one is a pre-op of a single head. Very common in this industry after installation that a head may have a crack or something in it. Now, your agent needs to know, and these good agents really do, that we can bring in the supplier and the manufacturer and transfer that responsible payment back to them. And lastly, again, we talked earlier about inspection and testing of systems, but it's important to know that impairment coordinators who are managing these buildings and these properties are required to do certain functions. NFPA 25 actually lists all of the functions that the impairment coordinator should do during inspection and test. So again, that's what a good agent will bring to you.
Great examples, Bob. I'm sure everybody can appreciate. So before we let you go, would you mind sharing some general advice for those insureds who might be shopping for their fire sprinkler insurance today? And with your expertise in dealing with a lot of agents, insureds, and even trade associations, I'm sure you have some wisdom to impart.
Absolutely, Karen. First of all, it's that you really need to understand that the fire sprinkler policies and the fire sprinkler industry is unique. So therefore, be overly cautious of what it is and what is not covered in your policies. And your agents will give you that advice, what's there and what's not there. Third, you need to check with and work closely with your agent on options. There are always options on policies, and so it's important that you work closely with them. Also, inquire about loss prevention resources. Today, many carriers will offer loss control services, but then again, there's just as many carriers that do not. Your agent will know which carrier does and which one does not. Next, confirm that that carrier has expertise in claims handling, that they also have experts available to support the claims adjusters. These experts are great services to you that will actually call and talk with you, the contractor, get your side of the loss, get copies of your contracts, and then be able to explain these in details to adjusters. Again, that's critical, and the only way you can make sure that you have this is through your agent. And lastly, this industry is unique. Your agent will help you tailor the right coverages for your fire sprinkler and fire prevention needs.
Fantastic. Thanks so much for your time and insights, Bob, and thank you to Monday Morning Markets for this opportunity to share some helpful advice on seeking fire sprinkler coverage. Appreciate those who have taken the time out of their schedules to enjoy this product knowledge video. We encourage you to reach out to your agents for the best possible insurance solution tailored to your unique needs. Have a great day.